I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Jeff Charles, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Joe Schaefer. And this is the Conservative 5, Liberty Nation TV's online news program. Sensing a possible new friend about to take the oath of office, thousands of migrants are joining caravans and heading toward the U.S.-Mexican border. Well, not so fast, amigos. Newly minted Commander-in-Chief Biden has pulled the emergency brake on the runaway immigration car. Did anybody see that coming? Well, besides President Trump, of course. Pro-immigration Biden has told the migrants to stay put as he mulls over a plan. Jeff, is there more to this than what meets the eye? I mean, are they stalling for a reason?
Yeah, they're stalling for a reason. They didn't prepare for this. Now, don't get me wrong. The Biden team, they knew what their immigration policy was going to be. They have an idea of how they're going to roll it out. I'm sure that they have all that in place. But what they forgot to think about is the fact that if you're campaigning on open borders and you win the election, supposedly, and you're going to go into office to implement those open borders policies, like getting a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants who already reside in the country, that's going to prompt some people to try to come over the border right when you take office. So they probably didn't anticipate that this caravan could possibly happen, but it's coming anyway. And they don't have time to really plan for taking them all in. Trump's policies are still in place. Biden hasn't had a chance to remove all of them yet or to reverse all of his executive orders. So when I saw that they had issued that statement saying, hold on, slow your roll, I was like, oh, okay, y'all weren't ready. You should have thought about this before you started campaigning with open borders policies. And now you've got to deal with the situation. And no matter how nice the media is to you, we're going to see how inept your administration is right off the bat.
You know what? I don't think they have a policy. I think they just hated Trump. So anything he did, it was, no, we can't do that. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Kids in cages and people drinking out of the toilets. Oh dear Lord. Oh dear Lord. And we won. Well, crap, we don't have a policy. We don't know what we're doing. I think they've had to, hurry up, pull some people together. If you check out the Biden website, it is just platitudes. It's happy language. There's no real plan. It's just, we're built from immigrants and immigrants are welcome and we need to treat immigrants better. There is no, here's how we're going to do this. I couldn't find anything on that.
Oh, you're falling right into Tim's wheelhouse. He kept saying that the speech was filled with so many platitudes.
How many platitudes can you fit in a single 20-minute inaugural speech? Well, Joe Biden certainly tested the limit. Now, of course, about half of the total words were, as Sarah said, unified, unite, unity, which, of course, is the very thing that we don't have and are not going to have with the president who half the country probably, or close to it, doesn't believe is a legitimate president. But
what do you think he's going to do about the immigration? I mean, it's on his watch now.
I think he's going to wind up doing exactly what Obama had to do, reluctantly.
Put kids in cages?
Obama deported a lot more people than Donald Trump did. Now, some of them were people that were just turned away at the border, admittedly, so the numbers are a little bit skewed. But Biden's going to find himself with no choice, because here's what he's going to face repeatedly in the weeks and months ahead. He's going to go to reverse a Trump policy, maybe because he doesn't like it, but mostly because it was something Trump did, so it must be bad. And when he does it, he's going to understand that actively opening the border rather than just continuing a policy of Bush and Clinton and others to just sort of let it happen slowly, that's not going to be so popular with the American people. So bit by bit, he's going to try to dismantle the Trump legacy. And every time he does it, he's going to understand that while Trump, the man, the person is gone, the Trump legacy, his policy, his record remains, and good luck trying to reverse most of that.
Joe, do you think we're looking at a free-for-all in a bunch of border towns?
I would take this in a more dark direction. I really do.
How surprising.
Oh, Joe's
Wow. Wow, Joe's going dark. Imagine that.
When Tim says that, Biden's going to try and do something and it won't be popular with the American people, what does he care? He got installed in the White House against the will of the American people. And now we look at this migrant caravan coming. He's about to legalize 11 million illegal aliens already in this country. And we know the number is much higher than that. It's estimated to be closer to 30 million, but he's going to give 11 million a path to citizenship. Do you think that's going to slow down that caravan? I think what it ultimately comes down to is big business, corporate, Republican establishment types. They want cheap labor, so they want open borders for that. But Democrats want a permanent underclass because they can exploit an underclass. They can promise them all the goodies in the world and everything, and they can hold on to their little bases of power, which is the inner cities, the big cities. This is where they got all their ballot harvesting in those key battleground states that took that election on November 3rd. So for Democrats, I think they want dependent people to be constantly coming into this country, that they see that as a way for them to hold on to power. So they may not be able to let in this entire caravan, but they want the chaos to keep happening.
Do you know who doesn't want an underclass? You know who doesn't want the cheap labor? That would be the people who are actually Americans that live in the border states. They don't want that. So they're not going to go away easily. We had a president in office who was supporting them and pro their efforts to stem the tide at the border. Now that man is gone. Do you think those residents, those militias, those people down south are going to lay down their arms and go back to bed? Not going to happen.
That's a really good point. Jeff, do you think that, he's going to turn back this caravan? How's he going to spin that?
I'm actually excited to see what he does because they're going to mess it up. I don't know what they're going to do. They're not going to turn it away. They're not going to get away with that. But if they don't turn them away, then they have to abide by the policy that Trump has set in place. Maybe I don't know if he's repealed the Remain in Mexico plan yet, but he's going to have to do something because it's going to be a horrible look if he turns them away. But even if he does accept them in, and if he actually follows through on this open borders agenda, public opinion is not going to be for that. And I'll tell you right now, the Black community is watching. He said nothing about what he's going to do for the Black community or anything like that, even though it was Black people who got him elected and nominated in the first place. So they're watching, and if he doesn't follow through on any of his promises, and if he prioritizes illegal immigrants over Black Americans, it's not going to look good for him. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see him mess this up.
Well, this is what establishment politicians do. They use the base of their party to get elected, and they quietly, they throw them a few bouquets in the form of, an occasional appointment to a minor administrative position or minor cabinet position, or a little bit here, a little bit there. But as Joe has said repeatedly, what they're interested in is furthering the uniparty establishment. And so the left is experiencing now exactly what the Trump people experienced after 2016 when the Republican establishment said, thanks for your votes, now go away. We're going to do things our way. So, it's a mirror image of what happened in 2016. So, you know what? It's Joe Biden's problem now.
Yeah, well, I think I have to agree with Jeff on the fact that everybody's going to take a higher precedent or a high, they're going to be number one on the list. It's not going to be Black America. And if you'll recall, and Jeff, I don't know if you've looked in a mirror, or I don't know if you have, thoroughly embraced the Joe Biden presidency, but just a few months ago, he said, "You ain't Black." And I kind of think you might be, but, I'm not sure this administration is going to care.
In the words of Mediaite, I am openly Black, regardless of what Biden says.
That's great.
Well, immigration was front and center during the Trump presidency and his tenure, kids in cages that Biden's boss built, the media manipulation of facts and images. How will Biden differentiate his policies? We shall see. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all our TV productions. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our new member zone, just $17.76 a year. And remember, folks, liberty all the time and everywhere.